Nice. So we're done with the blue view. Let's now take a look as to how to implement the green view. And let's start actually with um, the width of the green view, because if we recall the requirements, it said that the green view should be square and its width should be half the width of the blue view. All right, so let's start with this. We already have a pretty good idea of how this is going to work to create the layout constraint. But this time, the two items that we want to relate are the green view, and we want to relate it to the blue view. The attribute, again, is going to be the width. So we want to determine or define the width of the green view in terms of the width of the blue view. Is it going to be a subtraction or a multiplication in this at this time? Well, we said that the green view should be half the width of the blue view, so really it's going to be a multiplication again. We can say we want to multiply it by 0.5. We don't have a constant, and the NS layout relation is just going to be equal. So that's all we have to do to determine the width of the blue view. So let's say that. Let's activate the constraint by saying is active true. And now let's take care of the height. All right, so the requirement is that our green view is actually a square. So a square has the same the same length for the height and the width, right? So the same values for width and height. So what we can do this time is that we relate the height of the green view to its width, because we already gave it a width, so auto layout knows the width of the green view. So now we can say that the height of the green view should be the width of the green view. So the two items this time are going to be two green views. However, the attribute is going to be different this time. So the item of the green view, the height of the item of the green view should be the same value as the width of the green view. So we need to make sure that the attribute for the first item, which is the green view, is set to height, and then the second item, which is also the green view, is going to be set to width. And that way we can make sure that it's going to be the same value for these two. Again, we're setting the relation to equal, and this time actually we don't have no multiplication and no subtraction that we have to do, so we're just going to add the default values there, which is 1 for the multiplier and 0 for the constant. Finally, we activate the constraint, and this should already display the green view, of course at the wrong position, but it has the correct size. So it's a square, and the width and the height are set properly. All right, so let's now take a look at the positioning for the green view. And the first thing is that there is no margin to the trailing edge. So the green view has no margin to the trailing edge, and on the y-axis it should have the same center as blue. So at first, the trailing edge is right here, so that's the trailing edge of the canvas, and this is the trailing edge of the green view. And there should be a distance of 0 points between them. And we know how to express this using an auto layout constraint. We're using the same initializer. We're saying that the green view should be related to the canvas. And in the same way as we did before with the leading edge and the blue view, we're just now doing this with a trailing edge. So the attribute is going to be trailing here and trailing down here. The NS layout relation again is going to be equal, and because we don't have a constant this time, because there should be no distance between them, again we only set the default values, and this should shift the green view to the right and stick it to the trailing edge of the canvas. Let's activate it so that we can actually convince ourselves that this is true. And then I'll also already start typing the next and the final constraint, and that is that the green view should have the same center on the y-axis as the blue view. So this time we relate the let me bring up the auto-completion again. The green view again should be related to the blue view. This time the attribute is going to be the center, and it's actually the center y, and that relates to the center y of the blue view. It's going to be equal. The multiplier is 1 and the constant is 0 because these should have the same values. And let's activate the constraint. Setting is active to true. And there we go, we shifted the view to the bottom. And to really express once more what the multiplier and the constant is for, so the constant now gives us a way how we can still alter the value for the center y for green. So if I now set this to 20, for example, the view is going to shift downwards because we added, actually I'll try a bigger value, 60 maybe, and we'll really see that it shifts down a lot. So it gives us an additional way how we can further specify the relation in terms of an addition, and the multiplier is the same, just with a multiplication.